All right, everyone, let's dive right in. Today, we are taking a closer look at how we can improve our communication with women.
Sounds good to me.
We're dissecting this article called, get this, 5 things you're saying that turn women off, and you don't even know it.
Oh, I've seen that one floating around.
Yeah, really makes you think, and maybe we'll have a few laughs along the way, you know?
Sounds fun.
So, right off the bat, the article jumps into this whole thing about showering women with, compliments about their looks.
Yeah.
Like, classic line, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I've definitely used that one.
Yeah, it seems harmless enough at first glance, but,
Yeah,
if you really think about it, especially attractive women, I mean, they hear that all the time.
they probably do.
They just blend in. Right.
Yeah.
And you're not really showing that you see her as an individual.
You're just kind of focusing on the superficial
Yeah, exactly.
instead of maybe some, unique qualities.
Right.
So the article suggests, instead of that, how about complimenting something specific? Maybe her energy or her style or...
Their sense of humor.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, for example, instead of, you're so beautiful, how about, I like your sense of humor. It's sharp, but not too harsh.
It's clever, right?
It shows you're paying attention. You see her for more than just a pretty face.
Totally. Okay, so next up, this one, oh man, I'm so guilty of this. Apologizing unnecessarily
Oh, yeah.
all the time. Sorry to bother you, or I don't mean to interrupt, but the article says that makes you, less confident.
It does, yeah. I mean, think about it. When you start a conversation like that, apologizing already, it's like you're putting yourself in a submissive position right from the get-go.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not exactly, super attractive.
But isn't there, a line between being confident and being rude?
Oh, for sure.
How do you kind of balance that?
That's a great question. It's not about being a jerk, It's more about owning your presence. So instead of saying, sorry to bother you, but can I ask you a question?
Mm?
How about, hey, you seem like you know your way around a good cup of coffee. What would you recommend?
Okay, so it's still polite, but it's,
Apologizing for existing.
yeah,
Yeah, you're just going for it.
assertive. I like it. Okay, this next one, so annoying. When guys just send that one-word text,
Yeah.
Ugh, hey, and expect the woman to, carry the whole conversation.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
Uh,
The hey text.
yeah.
So much pressure on the woman to figure out what to say next.
It's lazy.
It's lazy, it's boring, it shows lack of effort.
Yeah, I wouldn't be thrilled.
I mean, come on, you can do better than that.
So how do you make it more engaging?
You got to spark her curiosity.
Yeah.
Make it easy for her to respond. So instead of just, hey, try something like, you look like someone who's mastered the art of picking the perfect playlist.
Mhm.
What's your go-to song right now?
It's way better. It's fun.
Yeah, it shows you're actually interested.
You put some effort in.
Exactly.
All right, so we've talked about compliments, apologies, and conversation starters. What's next?
Well, this one might surprise you. Don't overdo it with the approval seeking. Like always saying that's amazing or wow, that's so cool to everything.
I see, yeah. You think, too much.
Yeah, it can come across as inauthentic, a little desperate even.
Yeah, you're trying too hard.
Exactly.
What's the alternative?
Try mixing it up with some playful teasing, maybe,
Oh.
and genuine curiosity. Instead of just praising her cooking skills, ask her, all right, what's the best dish you've made so far? And what's the disaster you're still trying to forget?
So you're still engaging, but...
You're keeping it real.
Yeah.
You're showing you're interested in her experiences, not just trying to win her over with compliments.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's all about balance.
Okay, I'm liking this. It's all making sense now.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. It's funny how this whole approval thing kind of leads into the next point.
Mhm.
Asking instead of assuming attraction.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
It's like when a guy, he wants to ask a woman out or ask for her number, but he hesitates.
Yeah.
Instead of just going for it, he phrases it like a question.
Okay.
Would you maybe want to go out sometime? Or is it okay if I get your number?
Oh, yeah, I've definitely done that.
You know?
I thought I was being polite, but now that you mention it, it does sound a little unsure.
Yeah, exactly. By asking, you're introducing this doubt, this uncertainty,
Mhm.
you're not sure if she'd even be interested.
Right. Makes sense.
The article suggests just being more direct.
Oh, okay. So instead of, would you like to go out sometime? How would you phrase that?
How about, I'd love to continue this conversation over dinner. What's your schedule like this week?
Oh, okay. Wow, that's much more confident.
Right. It shows you're decisive and you're assuming the connection's already there.
So you're not giving her the opportunity to reject you before she's even had the chance to consider it.
Exactly.
You're just leading with, like, intention.
Confidence, yeah. And that can be super attractive.
I could see that.
All right, this next one really spoke to me. It's about, well, balance. The article says, be careful about trying too hard to please a woman or agreeing with everything she says.
Really? I always thought being agreeable was a good thing. Why would that be a turnoff?
Well, imagine if someone just agreed with everything you said.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that get boring after a while?
I guess.
This is spark, no challenge. Women are attracted to men who have their own opinions.
So how do you, like, balance that? Being respectful, but also, having your own views.
It's all about playful disagreement. Like if she says she loves running marathons, instead of just praising her dedication, you could say something like, marathons, so you willingly run for hours without being chased. That's serious dedication.
I like that. It's acknowledging her statement, but it's also, like, you're adding your own perspective.
Yeah, it keeps things interesting. Speaking of keeping things interesting, let's talk about nonverbal communication. Attraction's not just about words, right?
Body language.
It's about sending the right signals. The article mentions some body language no-nos. Speaking too quickly, nervous laughter, avoiding eye contact.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've definitely noticed that. Some people just, like, exude confidence.
Exactly.
Even without saying anything.
So what can we do to project more confidence?
Yeah.
Slow down your speech, use pauses effectively, maintain that eye contact, have a relaxed posture, take up space, and use those hand gestures, but, controlled, like, I'm comfortable here.
I say, it's like you're saying, I'm confident in who I am, just with your, like, presence.
Right. You're owning your space.
Got it.
And finally, the article talks about not being overly outcome dependent.
What does that mean?
It's about not getting so caught up in trying to impress a woman that you forget to actually enjoy the interaction.
Oh.
When you put too much pressure on yourself to get a certain response, it creates this anxiety, and that makes everyone uncomfortable.
It makes sense, yeah. It's like you're not fully present in the moment because you're so worried about what might happen next.
Right, exactly. The article encourages a mindset shift from trying to achieve a specific outcome to just enjoying the conversation and the connection.
Yeah.
Regardless of where it leads.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of these really interesting points about, like, attraction and communication. But what about for someone listening who's thinking, all right, this is great information, but where do I even start? Like, what's a good first step to actually put all this into practice?
Well, it all starts with awareness,
Okay.
Pay attention to your own communication patterns. Like, what are those little habits that you have? The words you use, your body language, even just your mindset going into interactions.
So, like, step one is be more self-aware. Then what?
Yeah, then you can start making more conscious choices. Like, catch yourself when you're about to just throw out a generic compliment. And instead think, okay, what's something specific about her that I can genuinely appreciate?
Right, so it's like you're retraining your brain to communicate in a way that's more genuine.
Exactly. And remember, it's not about trying to be someone you're not. It's about being the best version of yourself.
The confident, self-assured, genuinely interested version.
That's it, yeah.
I gotta say, this whole deep dive has really been an eye-opener for me. I'm already thinking about, like, little tweaks I can make to my own communication style.
Me too. And the great thing is, these insights, they're not just limited to romantic interactions.
Oh, that's a good point.
They can help you build better connections with everyone.
It's about being more mindful in all of your interactions, really.
Exactly. And, it's a journey, not a destination. So don't beat yourself up if you slip up sometimes or fall back into old habits.
Right.
Just keep practicing and keep these things in mind.
Okay, so I think we've covered pretty much everything in this deep dive. What's, like, the one key takeaway you would want to leave our listeners with today?
I'd say embrace the challenge. I mean, it's easy to stay in our comfort zones.
Yeah.
But real growth, it comes from pushing ourselves to communicate in a way that's more authentic and engaging.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that being a better communicator, it's not about memorizing lines. It's about growing and learning, always.
Exactly. And who knows, you might just surprise yourself with the kind of connections you make along the way.
Well, I think this has been a really incredible look at how we can, understand those little things that can make such a difference in our interactions.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
And remember, awareness is the first step. So now go out there and put all this into practice.